Tennis, Pollen, album review. Let's chat about it. Hey friends, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning here tonight to chat about this latest album from Tennis, Denver-based indie pop and dream pop duo. They've been at it for a few years now, and over the last couple of their albums, I've had a lot of negative things to say, but it wasn't always that case with the band. I mean, in their early days, I was actually shocked by how much I loved their debut album, Cape Dory. This is some of the classiest and most true-to-form throwback retro pop, and surf rock that you're gonna hear, and I love the album to this day. I have a great respect for it. But at the time, my initial thought was, this is really good. I can't see myself enjoying another album of this, but I was proven wrong with their follow-up, Young and Old. I liked it just as much. But it was around the time of Ritual and Repeat that I really just stopped enjoying Tennis's music, and it really hurt me to say it at the time, but I really did. They gussied up their sound so much on this album, and instantly I felt like the band was just trying so desperately to just keep that aesthetic no matter what. And I just felt like it came off inauthentic at the end of the day. Not only that, but it just wasn't coming as seamlessly to them, I felt like. And then with their next album, Yours Conditionally, like, I was even enjoying less of the material on here. Tennis had just completely became just another dreamy sort of throwback indie pop group. The authenticity was so far gone at this point, and by the time their last album, Swimmer, came around, I don't even think I reviewed it on this channel. I just listened to it last week, and the album put me to sleep. However, it might have been my morbid curiosity, but I was curious to see how Tennis was sounding on this new album, Pollen, and listening to the singles, I was actually thrown off by just how much I enjoyed them. It sounded like they had a bigger, beefier sound, still very dreamy, very bedroom pop oriented, but so much more depth than usual, and wow. They really turned things around on this album. This album starts off with Forbidden Doors, and instantly I am enamored with this sound. This single is fantastic. Just like I said, this has some meat to it. It's not like heavy or anything like that, but this is far from just breezy, faceless indie pop that can blow away if a light breeze came along. Vocals that we get from Elena here are just, they are to die for, honestly. Like, her vocals sound great on this album, and this instrumental has so much more depth than I'm used to. The guitar line that we get before the chorus, the nice synth work here, there's so many layers. It's a tasteful pop throwback that can hold its ground and sound good doing it. I really can't ask for much more than that, can I? This is kind of where I wish they were sounding the last 5 years or so. On the other hand, Glorietta has a serious driving force behind it that's really just amped up by this acoustic strumming that I love so much. Outside of that, we also get one of Elena's more dramatic vocal performances, and I'm here for it. And honestly, I'm completely shocked by just how heartfelt and really intense this track gets. It's focused as well, and the production on this entire album is such a step up. I don't know, for me, this is a winning formula from Tennis, because right away, I want to listen to this album again. On Let's Make a Mistake Tonight, the duo goes for almost like a laid-back new disco groove. It is effective. The warm rhythms that we get here, the lapping instrumental that's so hypnotizing, it gets me swaying. It's really beautiful. And the confidence here. And on the majority of this album, I mean, this is like the band's 5th or 6th album, but I can't ever remember them sounding so unified. I love the synth work. I love the laid-back groove. I love this big chorus we get. This is great. And One Night with the Valet is a very quaint, very short and sweet ballad. It's almost got like a folk rock sense to it, or like an old school 70s singer-songwriter feel. But on top of that, even the songwriting to me is just miles better than where they've been this time around. I love the dreamy, sort of whispered vocals that we get at points. They're pretty steamy. And the great group vocals that we get as well. Those are really cool. I would have loved to have heard more of that. For me, at least, Tennis really have found out, like, the perfect winning formula on this album. I think it's one of their finest works, by far. Now, there are a few short glimpses back to where they've been the last few years, and that is a little upsetting to me. Like, I don't want to draw the line, but I really had to when it came to Hotel Valet. This to me is a glaring representation of everything that I haven't liked about the band since Young and Old. It's way too drawn out. It's way too light on the ears. Even the songwriting is very up in the air. And listen, this is one of the sleekest and sexiest tunes here, at least it's trying to be. But I could argue that a lot of the other tracks on this album are a lot better than that. And Never Been Wrong is just kind of messy in my opinion. It starts out as one of the most stripped down and very DIY sounding tracks here. And it does pick up, it becomes pretty swirling and almost chaotic, but a little too much. There is a weird sort of disconnect on this track where I feel like both members are like doing their own thing and playing almost two different songs. It's messy. And more than anything, it just gets me out of the wonderful mood that I've been in. Outside of that, though, I had zero expectations for this album just because of where they've been for the last few years, but I think this is one of their finest works. Paper is just so bright and sunny, I can't be in a bad mood listening to this. I did not expect to be saying that, but this just fills me with so many feelings of love and life and so much more. The flute here is really nice. The piano's really joyous. Elena has another great vocal performance. And it's funny, I mean, if you really look at it, you can argue that Tennis hasn't changed their formula all that much. But I would also argue that they haven't sounded this synced up in a long time. I do like the laid-back funk of Gibraltar as well as this booming chorus that we get here. But it shows that they have some tricks up their sleeves, which is nice to hear. And yes, this is basically indie pop's literally. It shows that the band has some tricks up their sleeves, which is something I always love to hear. And this may be indie pop's, I don't know, this may be indie pop's yacht rock or dad rock, but it is full of life. It's feel good, it has some great lasting power, and by the end of this track, I am caught up in every guitar line, pounding drum, and everything else. And Pillow for a Cloud as a finale, it's just so great of a ballad. And you know, stripping things down for Tennis, it worried me from a distance. It really did. But this is just as sweet and enduring and just as full of life as anything else here. Elena sounds absolutely enchanting. This instrumental is to die for. Yeah, it's a great finale. This is a shockingly very solid album from Tennis, and I haven't had a lot of good things to say about them in a really long time, and I'm glad to be able to stand here and say this is the best thing they've done in a long time, and this is the best, one of the best albums in their discography. It is wonderfully produced, the vocals are great, their songwriting has been up to many notches, and it just feels like they're working with a winning formula. It's just so sunny and bright and feel good. I can't be in a bad mood listening to this project, and you may feel the same way, and I hope you do, because it is very good. Feeling a late 8 on this album, but let me know what you all think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.